I need to check in with meteorologist Cindy Presler now. Very busy in the weather center with our own Southwest Florida wet weather. Cindy.
Yes, we have a little bit of shower activity out there, but if you take a look at our Rubenstein Law Sky Cam right now, this is a camera right on top of the station here on Pine Island Road. We just have mostly cloudy skies, so I think a sprinkle or two not out of the question, but for the most part, everyone is going to stay dry this evening. But boy, have we got a lot going on in the tropics now. Two systems, Gamma, which has been downgraded to a tropical depression, but Delta, this is the one we're going to be watching now for the rest of this week. As of today, 25 named storms, so the records keep rolling in. Almost 2 months left in the season, 56 days to be exact. We are a full 6 weeks ahead of record pace, and that was set in 2005. Delta will break the record for the most U.S. landfalls in one season. Looks like that's going to happen on Friday. That will be 10. 10 of them have made landfall so far, and we've never seen that before since records have been kept. So we'll go out to the Gulf and down here to the Caribbean. There's Gamma, now separate from its thunderstorm, so we're getting a lot of that moisture moving into central and northern Florida. But down here is Delta. It has been strengthening today. Looks strong. It's in a great environment for strengthening, so we're going to watch this closely tonight. But you can see that outflow, the clouds and the storms, the rain moving into the panhandle of Florida. We're kind of out of it at this point. The air is a little bit drier here, at least for the time being. So just a couple of showers out here, no storms. Glades County, looks like DeSoto County could see a shower. They're coming in from the southeast. We have an east-northeasterly flow. The humidity is high again today, so this evening maybe a shower. Lots of clouds though, warmer temperatures. Have you noticed we're back into the upper 80s to around 90 degrees again? So just a slight chance for a shower. Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy tonight, and then tomorrow I think a better chance we're going to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms again, favoring late afternoon into the evening because we have that easterly flow. So here's your forecast this evening. 83 degrees both at 6 and 7 o'clock, 82 by 8 o'clock, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Overnight lows will be dropping into the 70s. Temperatures around 77 degrees at 3 a.m., but we'll go with partly cloudy skies tonight, and of course keeping a very close eye on what goes on with Delta, expected to become a Category 3 hurricane. Oh, by the way, we'd love to see your pictures, your videos too, your weather videos. You can share them with us and we will put them on the air if possible. Just weather@fox4now.com. Remember to give us your name, when you shot the picture, and where you shot the picture.
Well, this big old alligator is going to be transported to a gator farm after a Cape Coral man found it stuck in his storm drain. The man says he was mowing his lawn late last week when he made the discovery. Can you imagine? The man says he contacted different agencies to help remove the alligator for 3 days. FWC finally sent out officers to check it out over the weekend. When they got there, they immediately contacted a trapper to get the big guy out. The male alligator ended up measuring 9 feet, 10 inches.
Retail credit card APRs have not changed, despite the Fed slashing interest rates to near zero this year. Now, this is from a new report by creditcards.com. Store-only cards have the highest interest rate at nearly 30%. Now, that's the case for a few jewelers, Discount Tires, and Big Lots, which sells furniture and appliances.
They're kind of preying in some cases on people who are really desperate to buy something, but may not have the money for it. So it's really all about risk management.
The survey found more than 43% of people have impulsively applied for a store card at checkout. That phenomenon may change this holiday season when much of the shopping is expected to be online.
It might be less of an issue this year, although who knows, maybe the shoppers that are in store are going to be peddled these even more aggressively. So it's something to watch for.
Store credit cards can be worth it if you pay your bills in full to avoid interest and you're loyal to a certain retailer. That's especially true for cards that offer 5% back on everything you buy. Amazon, Walmart, Target, and a few clothing stores offer those kinds of rewards. Now, if you're just signing up for an initial discount, don't waste it on a small purchase. Remember, a credit card is different from a free loyalty program. You might be getting into something that could hurt your credit score. Well, a startup is trying to crack the code on hit songs. Secret Chord Laboratories is based in Virginia, and musicians there have started studying the impact that music has on our brains. Now, they have a product named Doper, and it looks at the metrics like melody, harmony, and tone to predict which track will become a hit.
Dobra is always evolving because the audience is always evolving. The audience hears new music every day, and it changes their expectations of what they might like the next day.
Secret Chord Laboratories has started working with big record labels to help them pick what songs to release. Now, rapid coronavirus tests like what the White House staff have been using are offering hope for being more proactive with testing, what it's going to take to get enough of those tests out to the rest of the public.
Some people in a Southwest Florida neighborhood say they had their President Trump signs stolen. We hear from one man who had a flag ripped off his house as well.
Live from the station that's in your corner, you're watching Fox 4 News at 5.
Politics getting personal in one Fort Myers neighborhood. Thanks for staying with us at 5:30. I'm Jane Monreal. People living in the McGregor Gardens say dozens of signs supporting President Trump have been stolen out of their front yards. In one case, a man tells Fox 4 someone ripped his flag right off his house. Fox 4's Rob Manch spoke with several people who live there and reports from Fort Myers for us tonight. Rob?
People living here at the McGregor Gardens tell me more than 20 signs and flags were stolen throughout the neighborhood. The incident has been reported to police, and many people have already replaced their signs. Rick Maness showed me the flagpole that is now splintered from being ripped out of its holder. He says he's lived here for 31 years, and he's never had to deal with something like this before. He's planning to get a security camera now, and many of his neighbors are doing the same.
The neighborhood's up in arms. They're just tired of it, you know. Nobody should come on your property. Nobody should vandalize your property.
And I also had the chance to speak with another person who had their signs stolen. Coming up tonight on Fox 4 News at 6, I'll tell you why they say stealing the signs is going to have a much different effect than the vandal intended. In Fort Myers, Rob Manch, Fox 4, in your corner.
Well, here it is, October 5th, and we are still deep into the tropical season. We have two systems out there, one in the Gulf and one in the Caribbean, but it's headed for the Gulf of Mexico. Let's start with Gamma. It was downgraded to a tropical depression this afternoon about 5 o'clock, just a few minutes ago. This is expected to become a post-tropical remnant low. So it's weakening. We'll move back down into the Yucatan Peninsula and then dissipate sometime tomorrow. So we're not concerned about Gamma anymore. However, this is Delta. Right now, it is a tropical storm, but is expected to become a hurricane, then quickly strengthen, rapid intensification like it's been doing today. So by Wednesday, nearing the Yucatan Peninsula as a Category 3, move into the Gulf of Mexico where the water is very warm, weaken just a bit by the time it reaches landfall over Louisiana. Water temperatures are so warm out here, but right before it makes landfall, water temperatures are a little bit cooler, so that should help us out just a little bit. Rainfall is going to be heavy right across Louisiana and Mississippi. More coming up in just a bit.
The larger number of faster, cheaper COVID-19 tests is offering some hope. Researchers at Harvard and Brown say we need about 2 million tests a day for people who are symptomatic and their contacts to fight the spread of the virus. But then you also add in teachers, students, nursing home residents, and staff. Numbers about 4.4 million. Now that's around 4 times the amount of people being tested per day, according to the COVID Tracking Project.
So I think it's important to make sure that we actually have a goalpost about where the country needs to head, because the testing manufacturers need to know what that number looks like in order to make their own business and manufacturing decisions about how to scale.
Dr. Thomas Tsai says that we don't have enough capacity yet with the rapid antigen tests. He says letting the supply chain drive our guidelines for testing won't get us to where we need to be. Now, he says PCR tests that do take longer to come back are more accurate, but he says the antigen tests are promising because we just screen more often.
Think about all the information that we've gleaned just from the exposure at the White House in terms of the patterns over the last several days. And that kind of information, that kind of action should not just be reserved for our politicians and our athletes and celebrities, but that's what all Americans deserve in terms of being able to have that information to fight the pandemic.
He says testing by itself only gives you information, and it's the actions like masking and distancing that really protect you. Now, he says the federal government needs to make testing cheaper or even free for it to work. Now, the pandemic continues to impact the housing market. Ashley Sampson's getting perspective on what retailers are watching closely for the rest of this year.
The housing market in 2020.
I've seen all sorts of crazy.
A year where pretty much nothing is going as planned.
It's very exciting.
Your island is going in here.
First-time homebuyer Alex Size decided this was the time to pull the trigger and leave apartment life behind.
I was renting and yeah, it was time to, I didn't want to rent anymore.
So we've got the electrical, the HVAC system, the plumbing.
Today he's looking at houses with his real estate agent, Amy Asher.
How this is all taking shape.
Asher says when COVID hit in March, the market screeched to a halt.
We were all nervous because you don't know what to expect.
According to the National Association of Realtors, 85% of realtors saw a noticeable decline in sales in the spring. But now,
once we got the green light to kind of move about and to practice business regularly, man, everyone just jumped.
For most of the country, COVID-19 means homeschool for the kids and stressed out parents trying to work from home too.
I've had a lot of past clients call me and say, we're all of a sudden realizing that the walls are coming in on our home.
It has LED lights, so it's gonna glow up.
As for Alex, the upswing after lockdown means finding the perfect bachelor pad.
It almost kind of helped me because it did bring like the prices lower and especially the interest rates dropped. So it was kind of an opportunity that I took advantage of. It was a no-brainer.
For now, the roller coaster ride that is 2020 will continue.
If we don't level out a little bit, I think we could be heading towards a bubble burst.
In Bluffdale, Utah, I'm Ashley Sampson reporting.
There's new groups of people that, they were making it before, but they were right on that edge and are now struggling.
Well, the challenge of affording the dentist in this pandemic isn't just impacting teeth, the other impacts that dentists are seeing. Topping the newsfeed, a major movie theater chain is closing all of their theaters. Regal says it's going to close all 536 locations nationwide. See, it was banking on this new James Bond movie to bring people back, but the film's been delayed to next year, and it's unclear when the theaters could reopen. Well, the cruise industry also in pretty rough shape. Norwegian Cruise Lines is canceling cruises through November, which is after CDC restrictions are set to expire November 1st. Carnival Cruise Lines canceled the rest of its cruises for this year. Well, spend money to make jobs. According to the International Monetary Fund, governments need to spend more money to make more jobs. It says investments in healthcare, housing, and the environment can help grow economies. Well, it's a boy. The Smithsonian's National Zoo announcing the sex of the new baby panda by revealing a blue painting created by its dad. Now, they have to do a genetic test because male and female cubs look the same, but zoo staff say he is healthy. The cub born 6 weeks ago is the third boy for mom. Now, a couple is celebrating their reunion after more than 2 years apart. Both have special needs and fell in love at a housing community in Florida. Well, the families actually tried to separate the two over some financial concerns if they were to get married, but the couple continued to connect, so their families finally gave in.
She is wonderful. She's a very nice lady, and she's very social, outgoing person.
He just inspires me in so many ways that you can never imagine.
Now, they plan to stay in Michigan for good and started a GoFundMe to help pay for a mortgage. Communities of color are disproportionately impacted by so-called food deserts.
It's a cruel irony that the descendants of this country's first farmers now live in neighborhoods where they can get nothing from the earth.
How one group is trying to reduce this food inequality one neighborhood at a time.
A Florida girl making some big changes in her city, how she's making a difference one sign at a time.
Yeah.
A 10-year-old Tampa girl is making a difference in her city. A letter she wrote nearly a year ago landed her next to the city's mayor. She wrote that letter after seeing a men working sign at a construction site where men and women were working side by side. Well, she said she didn't like women being excluded in the sign, so she suggested it say work present instead. The city is now ensuring that inclusive signage is used instead of ones that say men at work, exactly what she was hoping for.
We need that input, we need that creativity and that innovation.
To show their appreciation, the city gave her a workers present sign with the mayor's autograph, another one that reads Vivian M. Anderson Way. And while the sign hangs in her bedroom, she says she'll be thinking of other ways to change the city for the better.
Millions of Americans cannot afford to see a dentist right now. It was part of a health crisis long before COVID, and now with people losing their jobs and their insurance, things are only getting worse. Chris Conti takes a closer look at why doctors are so concerned and how some are stepping up to help.
How are you today, sir?
If a smile changes everything, you can understand why Anna Eubanks cares so deeply about her teeth.
Because that's part of my health, you know. That's part of your health.
But affording a trip to the dentist is often as painful as a cavity. Both Anna and her husband are among the millions of Americans who do not have dental insurance.
You do think about it. It's just you hope you never have to go there, that you never have to use it.
There were great disparities that existed in the American healthcare system long before COVID hit. The last few months have only made things worse.
You think you can put it off, and it just catches up with you eventually.
Dr. Rhonda Switzer-Nadassi oversees Interfaith Dental in Nashville, Tennessee, a nonprofit made up of dentists who volunteer their time so that people like Anna Eubanks can get care at little or no cost, a need more critical now than ever.
So there's new groups of people that, they were making it before, but they were right on that edge and are now struggling.
Here's why she says that. Since February, an estimated 12 million Americans have lost